Hi.
Hello.
Yeah, I see you drinking your water. I went to my nephew's birthday party before we did this, and I drank a Dr. Pepper. I haven't had a fully loaded, well, I drank half of a Dr.
Wow.
Pepper for so long. It tasted really dang good, I have to say.
Yeah, Dr. Pepper slaps. Funny you say that because I actually my niece, she has a half sister and her sister had a Dr. Pepper themed birthday party yesterday.
Really?
And I just went through the photos before this call and I thought to myself, man, that's really weird. I mean, cool for her, but like
Yeah.
it was cute. The theme was cute. Like they played on the colors of like the cherry of the Dr. Pepper.
Yeah.
So like,
Yeah.
it was super cute, but I'm like, man, I haven't had a Dr. Pepper in a long time.
Yeah, I can't remember the last time I had a Dr. Pepper, especially like a not a wasn't a diet
A
Dr. Pepper.
real
It was a
one.
fully
You're
loaded.
fully
It was
loaded.
the big time stuff.
I like Diet Dr. Pepper. When I first ventured into the world of diet drinks, because I was a full loaded girl my whole life. When I went into diet drinks, Dr. Pepper was the first one that I could like enjoy and not feel, but like it just,
Yeah. Mhm.
I liked them a lot. I don't know, something about them 23 flavors.
Something they
They've
got it
got it
made, man.
figured out.
I mean, I've always, if I have had soda, years ago, it was
Mhm.
just, I drank Diet Coke like it was going out of style. I
Yeah.
still enjoy a Diet Coke now and then, but yeah, it's been a long
Yeah.
time since I've had a pop that's not diet. It's
Yeah.
good.
I'm a zero girl.
I know, I still got to try that Coke Zero. Still
I'm
have
so
not.
addicted. Like calling it a
Yeah.
fridge cigarette is so real. When you've had a Okay, speaking of, this is so funny.
People
There's a
like it when we
video.
talk about cigarettes, Myra. I don't, our YouTube stuff goes
They
through the
do?
roof.
Okay, well, all right. Well, this one's even better.
Okay.
It's so funny because this video, I've seen it twice now on the internet, and it's like, I don't smoke, but when I've had a long day and the guy walks outside and he's got a little Debbie box of Christmas tree little Debbies and he slaps it against his hand, like getting the pack ready, and then he cracks it open and he pulls out a little Debbie Christmas tree. And he's like, just
Hilarious.
something to take the edge off. And it's like hitting it. And I have laughed so hard. But it made me, I mean, I was like, God, I could go for like a Swiss roll. I haven't had a little Debbie Swiss roll in a very long time. But like seeing that Christmas tree little Debbie, I'm like, oh my gosh, like, yeah, that would take the edge off right now. Like, that
Right.
would really go a long way. That would go a real long way.
I used to eat, I don't know if it was Little Debbie. I think it was Little Debbie's, the brownies.
The cosmic brownies.
Yeah. I used to
Oh
get
my
those.
gosh. Yeah,
I haven't had
okay.
that in
This is
years.
okay. Me either, but this is so funny. I don't know why I'm thinking of Little Debbie. So whatever. But my dad literally kept the house stocked with fully loaded Sundrop. Okay, guys, like the real stuff. And Sundrop is like Dr. Pepper on steroids. Like when you drink this stuff, you can feel like your body like transforming. I don't know. Red Bull does not give you wings. Sundrop does, okay?
Sundrop
It like
does.
burns your intestines out of your body. But he would keep the house stocked with Sundrop and Little Debbie cakes, fudge rounds, oatmeal cream pies, Swiss
Oh yeah,
rolls.
oatmeal cream pies. Love
Oh
those.
yeah, the little donut
Hmm.
packs. Guys, he literally was fattening us up for the Christmas feast. Okay, like it was real. But I joke because my mom has always like said like your dad, it's him. He kept all these sweets in the house. He kept all these sodas. But I give her hell because I said, "Mom, honey, he's been dead for like 12 years now." So, I mean, I think you can't blame him much longer anymore. Like he ain't here, so you
Yeah.
can't say he's making you gain weight. Like
Poor
it's
Greg,
at
he's
some
still getting blamed.
blame for it. Yeah, like maybe, but I don't think he held you at, gunpoint with a little Debbie cake. Instead, you got to eat the Twinkie, or whatever. Like, but yeah, it's just so funny because she's like, yeah, and she keeps bringing it up, and I'm like, well, honey, it's been a minute, and
Yeah.
he ain't here no more. So, like, when are we going to take accountability? It's funny. We laugh about it. So,
They're still making their way into the house somehow.
yeah, they are flying in some way. Yeah.
It's so funny. Yeah, oatmeal. I forgot about those oatmeal cookies with the like I don't know what was in the middle of them. Was it cream
Cream.
cheese?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, like the
Yeah. Those were
icing, basically,
icing?
like
Yeah, I
poison.
mean like
I mean, I just don't
it's
eat that stuff
exactly what it is.
anymore.
It's
Yeah, like I
poison.
just don't. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
like, I
Yeah,
don't,
but it's
I
been
just,
years.
yeah, yeah, and like, I don't even know if I could eat it all anymore. And it's not even, it's just because it's too sweet. Like
Yeah.
I like sweets, but I like more of like a bitter sweet. I don't know if that makes any sense. Like, I don't know. My taste, I haven't had them in so long that there's just not the appeal for me anymore to
You know
eat
what the
it.
craziest thing is? I'm not a big sweet person,
Hmm.
but on Sundays, every
Oh, God.
stinking
Yeah.
Sunday, for some reason,
Hmm.
I crave sweets.
Yeah, I do
Like
too.
if it's weird that it's that one day of the week. And
Yeah.
I don't know, I've never really thought about it till we were talking about this. Like, is there something that triggers that I had in my childhood that we
Oh,
had? I
that's a
don't
good
know.
thing. Yeah, my dad, well, I mean, I crave sweets on Sundays too.
You
And
do?
yes, but today I was like, Blake, man, I want like a birthday cake, but not like a random slice. Like I want like a custom birthday cake. Like he's like, okay. But actually, my dad on Sundays made a fully loaded dinner. I mean, he made everything, all of the
Yeah.
fixins, everything, and he would bake a cake.
Desserts.
He'd
Yeah.
bake a cake every Sunday. And I mean, it was like a cute little, he used a bundt pan all the time, like no matter what it was.
It
And
wasn't
it
a bunt
worked.
cake. He just used a bunt pan.
He just bundt pan, yeah. And then he would like, but I'm not an icing person. I know you are, but I'm
Oh
not.
yeah, I love it.
And he would always cut me a slice and then push it to hide it and then ice over it so that I
Oh
could have just like the sponge part.
yeah.
Anyways, so that's probably why I want something sweet on Sundays. But I don't know, we're not alone because I've talked to a lot of people and they don't crave sweets until like Sunday or like they
Hmm.
want a sweet on a Sunday. Even Blake, and Blake's not a big sweets
Hmm.
person. He's a savory person and he wants a
Is
sweet
he?
on a Sunday.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. There
Yeah.
must be something energetically that plays out on Sundays. I don't know.
Yeah, I would
Yeah.
be translucent if it wasn't for a weekend. I
Yeah.
would be so all my goals would be met if there weren't weekends.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I went to my nephew's birthday party. I did get the Dr. Pepper. I did not have cake. I left
Oh,
because I had this and they hadn't cut the cake yet. So
well,
apparently I'm
I'm
not meant to
sorry.
have cake today.
You didn't
No,
get
it's
the
fine.
sweet.
Dang it.
You missed
I
out.
missed out. It's all good.
It's okay.
I must have missed the memo. They were eating like I didn't know food was being served, so I'd already eaten, so I wasn't hungry. Anyway,
Oh,
so but I got the dang Dr. Pepper, so I'll take that.
hey, it's a win.
And the
It's a
best
win.
hug from my nephew, so I'll take that. He
No,
gives the best
that's
hugs.
even better.
Yeah, all worth it.
Exactly.
Well, should we dive into our topic?
Yeah.
It's not going to be about Little Debbie's.
No, now everybody's ran to the Dollar General.
Yeah, exactly.
They're getting
They're
stocking up
getting
on
their
little
snacks.
babies. Yeah, they're on their
They've got
way.
us on pause.
Yeah, they're like, hang on a minute, I gotta get a cigarette, aka Christmas
Okay.
tree.
Well, we talked about this concept a little bit of, I call it being reckless with our energy, like our energy centers. Probably get into the chakras maybe a little bit today. We don't have to get into specific chakras, but the chakra system is our energy body, which is associated to your emotion and your spirit. And when chakras are in balance, that's when our bodies are in balance. The body's a reflection of that system. And it's been interesting this week because I've worked with a lot of clients feeling the energy of the chakras. There's been a lot of underbalanced chakras that I've been feeling this week specifically. So your chakra is like a circle, like it's, like a wheel, chakra wheel.
Hmm.
And when they're in balance, they are spinning at a fairly good rate. When they're under balance, because of the muck in the chakra, like the energy,
Hmm.
that somebody hasn't felt. So always comes from an emotion of some kind. They slow down, they get stagnant, they feel
Hmm.
heavy. And I was just starting to think about like how that word reckless with our energy. It's like, not only how are we feeling our own emotions, but what are we giving to others? What are we allowing others to give to us? Because everything's an energy exchange. I saw one of our mutual friends that we share post something about, and I'm paraphrasing this, like not everybody gets a seat at my table kind of
Hmm.
theory,
Yeah.
right? And I think there's a lot of validity to that. That's a good
Hmm.
thing, right? That
Hmm.
is not being reckless with your energy. That is protecting your energy and only allowing in energies that you want to vibrate with, right?
Mm-hmm.
You want to express with, that's serving you. So often we get into these areas of obligation. We talked about that a couple episodes
Yeah.
ago, or maybe last week, right? Where because of their label, we feel like we owe them something. They have to be in our sphere.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really recognizing those things. As I worked with one of my clients today, again, feeling that underbalanced energy, one of the things I talked to her about was I could feel her need to have everybody else tune into what she should be doing, like outside sources.
Mm-hmm.
And that made a lot of sense to this individual because she hasn't yet identified who she is, what's her authentic self, what does she want. So
Mm-hmm.
she's very guided by her family and other societal belief structures that are out there,
Yeah.
which also causes imbalance in the
Mm-hmm.
chakras. I mean, there's many things that cause it. The biggest thing is not feeling your own emotion in
Yeah.
its most raw form. It's some trapped
Yeah.
emotions that we have.
Yeah. Yeah. When Tressa brought this subject up, like honestly, it made me think about how like where am I? Okay, so I told Tressa I had nothing going on this week, which wasn't true. I did have things going on this week. But when I think about like my reckless energy, like I never really put words to how I was using my time, using my energy, like what that meant for me. And this week though, I had a session with Tressa, and in the session, I was told like, hey, you got to work on this family line. Like you need to work on this relationship, cut out the relationship ultimately really is what the answer is. But when you take the information from this person, they were represented as a volcano. So spewing is a perfect word to sum it up. With all this information that's coming out of them, like here it is, here it is, here it is. And then when I take that information and then I pick up the phone and I call my mom, or I call another relative, or I call a friend, or I call Jim John, and I just keep like repeating and relaying the information over and over, whether I'm frustrated or whether I'm annoyed or whether I'm choosing to gossip or whatever my intention is. In the session, it was represented that that's just continuing the pattern. Like it's just it's keeping it alive. So like even if I cut out this person, I'm just relaying this information over and over and over. And so like it was represented like a web or lines, and it's just it just keeps going. So like this is not actually ending. And it's really interesting to me because I honestly, even in this, like Tristan and I've talked about many a times, like it's always a journey, it's not a destination. So even as I've worked on things, this is something that I haven't totally stopped. And it's something that I am more aware of. Like, and I have been aware of it because I know how I feel once I've done it or once I've had the conversations. And even if I'm not picking up the phone and actually calling the tree of people, right, and relaying the information, when they talk to me, they ask and pry for this information, and I've given it to them too, which is another form of the being reckless with my energy too.
Yeah.
And I had never... Like, one, I knew that it was being reckless with my energy. To say that I was not aware that it was being reckless is not true. Because I knew that, and I knew that it wasn't right to do it, but I was doing it anyways, and I can be aware and say that too, right? I can own that, and I can be responsible for that. But without the keys and the knowledge that I have, this is something that I definitely was participating in majority of my life. This is also something that most people in my family participate in too. Like something happens and it's like a tree, or like situations happen and it's like a phone tree. That's what I think about. Like,
Oh, yeah.
you call,
Uh-huh.
yeah, like that's what I mean by tree, I guess.
Yeah,
I should
gotcha.
clarify, phone tree. Yeah.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying. Or the
I do.
telephone game, and it gets passed around and it keeps going around and going around. And, but after, like, one, I know how I feel, but two, it's also not how I want to show up either. Like, I don't want to be that person either. So if I'm really working on myself and how I'm showing up and representing myself in these situations, one, I don't want to be reckless with my energy. So, okay, so there's one thing I need to stop. But two, this information this person's giving me isn't great information either. Like, it doesn't really need to be spread. And truly, it keeps it alive. Like, we've talked about it before. Like, when you keep replaying things, or you keep bringing things up, or you keep stuff circling around, you're just giving it fuel to keep that energy alive. And then it just continues and continues. So anyways, this week I was very aware of it. And what's been interesting is the individual had not contacted me all week. Really, until one night. It had been a couple days. They contacted me one night. The phone call was very brief, and that's not normal. Usually it's like hours. It's been a difficult way to navigate, to hang up or to get off the phone. And so the phone call was really brief, but in that short period of time, there was still a lot of information given. And I just was like, I'm not supportive. I was just neutral. We've talked about being neutral before. I just stayed in a neutral state. I didn't give information to that person, ask for more information. I didn't even give advice because, like, there is no reason to give advice because it's just going nowhere. So I don't need to exchange my energy in that form either. I don't need to give anything to the situation. But I've noticed, like, it was really hard. It was really hard for me to not call and tell another individual what they said. And, like, yes, ultimately this is gossiping. One, this is gossiping, but two, it was disguised in, like, this is my family member and they want to know more information. Like, it's disguised in a form, but ultimately it's gossiping, right? And sharing information that didn't need to be shared from myself. And I didn't participate. I didn't do it. I didn't do it all week. And even when people would call me and ask for information about this person, I didn't give them anything. I was just like, oh, okay, yeah, they're okay. They're doing all right. They're sure, or they'd say, how's their job? I'm like, it's a job. I mean, I guess it's good. You can call them too,
Yeah.
so, but it's been the coolest thing. And it was really hard. It was really, really hard. But it's something that I've truly been aware of, but it was because it was presented in, like, hey, you got to stop that. That format was more of a slap in the face type feeling, like, okay, yeah, that's not, it's bad. And that is just, it's what my family does. And it feels those obligations, right? Like, where you want to share and they want this information and you think sharing brings connection, and it doesn't. Like, the more information you give builds bonds. It doesn't. And I've noticed all week that even when people have been trying to give me information, I've just been very neutral about it. If it's not, like, good information, if it doesn't serve me, if it's not meant for me, if it's nothing that I need to do with it, I've really watched the way I've given advice. Like, what advice am I giving to people, if I'm even giving advice anymore? We've talked about that before, and that came up for me this week too. And so it's been very interesting. Like, I've really paid attention to what I'm giving my energy to and how I'm giving it to other people and what I'm taking in also.
Yeah. I think a couple of things that I want to say around this too is, one is I wrote down talk therapy, and talk therapy I think is on its way out. I think it had its place, right? But ultimately it is keeping that energy alive. You're keeping the trauma alive. You're keeping those things alive. And ultimately the body is like a cup. You've got to release to replace. So if you get a good therapist, then they're giving you tools to release some of the traumas that you're in there to speak about. But you don't just continue to talk about it, right? So I think that's moving out. But I honestly think that the energy, the way that one of the things that Myra talked about was her session with me. And I've been doing energy work for well over a decade. But this new way that they are allowing me, my guides, and I've been tuning into Archangel Metatron to give information is very decisive. It's very direct. There's not a room for deflection. And I believe that that energy of deflection is no longer going to serve anyone here. The energies are moving too quickly now. You think about the Mayan calendar. 2032 is the timeline. We're not that far away from what's going to be the new earth, or whatever term you want to put to it, right? There's many, it's been written about by many people, the Bible included, right?
Yeah.
They say different words, but they mean the same thing. So that's why I believe that that has shifted now. Is what happens is we always go to familiar energy. Think of the word family, familiar. So for you to do this, it is uncomfortable. It is hard because you're used to the familiar energy.
Yeah.
but any change will be uncomfortable. And what that does, you talked about, we believe that, they're calling and asking about this individual out of love, but it's not. It's about the T. It's about deflection of self. It's about,
Yep.
I can focus on this person's fuck ups and talk about
Yeah.
this person's fuck ups.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, they haven't gotten that yet. What an idiot. It's all
Yeah.
deflection.
Mm-hmm.
Deflection energy. That's not going to be allowed anymore. It's not going to
No.
serve anyone anymore.
Mm-mm.
Like I just feel that so heavily. And that's what gossip does, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, it's all about the energy that you're doing it in, right? Now, there are times where you may truly be coming from an energy of love, where you
Yeah.
pick up the phone and you're like, hey, we've got this mutual friend, brother,
Yeah.
sister, whatever. And I am really, like, out of love, concerned for this individual.
Yeah.
That's different. That's not what most people do.
Mm-hmm.
They're not having those dialogues. It's more of the other stuff I was just saying. And that is
Yeah.
all allowing them to deflect looking at themselves. And I am here to say, you're not going to be able to run from yourself anymore.
Yeah.
It's coming to a head.
Yep.
So being reckless with your energy will be destructive. Like you will be destroyed in other ways. Like, you can see it. And I've heard this on many metaphysical podcasts lately, and you're seeing it now. Like their job securities are there is no job security anymore. That doesn't exist, right? These things are starting to, so it's time to really go in and have self-reflection, really starting to build the foundation within yourself and not allowing the deflection. You can allow it, but it's not going to be allowed for much longer. So I would just really encourage people to sit with themselves. We talked about this 3 or 4 episodes ago, and I don't believe in coincidences. These topics come up for a reason. We talked about that energy of being consciously in solitude by yourself, feeling your own energy, tuning into yourself. That is going to be vital for people to navigate what's coming, because it's going to come. You're not going to stop that. It's coming. So how do you learn to navigate it in different ways? And that's going to be one of the key things, is that conscious solitude, sitting with yourself, doing what you've done. Once you got the information, you're like, okay, I see it. I can acknowledge it, because you can't change what you don't acknowledge. And I'm going to do it even through the lens of uncomfortability.
Mm-hmm.
And then pretty soon the uncomfortability goes and it's your normal. You'd feel uncomfortable going back.
Oh yeah, no, 100%. Yeah, because I actually, like, when you were talking to, it made me think about, I've shared being more secure in myself, like what I went through with the job and the transformation over the last several months. And it's been a year now, and the things that unfolded after, and like where I'm at right now in my life, where I'm in such a different place of sense of self and security. I'm tied to different things. It's not tied to identity, ego, not even a dollar amount anymore. It's not tied to anything anymore. Like I'm so secure in myself. What's funny, like when you were mentioning that, is, there've been some shifts and shakeups within the organization that I'm in, and I haven't been worried once. I've been fine, and I had someone, talk to me, and they're like, yeah, they're asking, like, people have been super worried about, like, are they going to have jobs? Are they going to do this? And I was just like, I'm not supposed to be, like, I'm okay. I'm like, I don't know. I was just okay, and what's so funny is I tried to feel it and I couldn't feel it. Like, I'm trying to feel it now and I can't even feel it. Like, I cannot feel that feeling of fear and being so scared around this security of if a job's going to be there or not. Like, I just can't feel it anymore, because yes, I love money. I love opportunities. I'm blessed with opportunities and I'm grateful for those opportunities, but I just don't have that same foundation that I built around a job, a career, of feeling those emotions. And I was being very reckless with my energy around what worth meant to me, stability meant to me, what that foundation looked like. And now I don't have those feelings anymore, and I'm in a sense of security. I feel more secure in myself, and I've sat with myself, and I'm comfortable with me, Myra, for who she is when it's all boiled down, right? And I tried to sit in the feelings and I can't do it now, and I couldn't do it then. Like, I just can't go back to the way that feels. And so, like, you're totally right, like being aware of it, making those changes in the shift, Like to even, I just don't know. I can't relate. I can't relate to that anymore.
Yeah, because you've shifted your vibrational
Yeah.
energy, and it's such a challenging it's a challenging thing to do because, um, as I think about what I've shifted over the years, where I made decisions to not be reckless with my energy, to have a
Hmm.
heightened awareness. Many people aren't in my life anymore. That used to
Exactly.
be, and that's the challenging thing for us, right?
Hmm.
A whole lot of new people have shown up. And even when I'm in groups where certain activities bring me back into their sphere,
Yeah.
I feel uncomfortable. I feel uncomfortable.
Hmm.
And I get quiet in those situations
Yeah.
because the collective energy is still in that we want to talk about other people, right? It's still in that. Where did the term tea come in?
The
Getting the
tea,
tea, getting the guy, right? It
the
means gossip,
gossip.
right?
Yeah. Like you're
Oh,
drinking a cup of coffee or the tea.
okay,
Like,
okay,
yeah,
gotcha.
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
like, where the hell did that come from?
yeah.
And I find myself in those situations, couple of things happen. I get real quiet. I
Hmm.
just don't participate in the dialogue. And what's so funny is usually, and this is the beauty of my guides and my team, I never have
Hmm.
to stay long. There's always something
Yeah,
that pulls me out. I
yeah.
make the politically correct
The Irish goodbye.
appearance, but yeah, I show up, but I never have to be in it long. It's so
Yeah.
beautiful. It's so beautiful. And, it's interesting. I was talking to one of my friends about a relationship that I had years ago, and I was extremely close to this individual. They're in my family unit, and fast forward to today, we really don't speak to each other. Nothing, we're just in completely different veins of our lives. What I
Yeah.
do, he judges me a lot. And I love him still. And my friend was like, "Oh, that isn't that so sad? You used to be so close." And I was like, "I don't feel sad. No,
Yeah.
I don't. I don't feel an energy of sadness. I feel an energy of appreciation and love for what we once had and how it served me in that time and season of my life. But I have
Yeah.
no desire to try to rekindle something in that space and I think that's what happens to so many people. They look at it through the lens of it dissolved instead of the lens of what did it give and serve me in the time, and just appreciate that. It's no longer meant to be, or it would be. It's not meant to be right now.
Hmm.
It wouldn't serve me the way that I want to be, the way that I want to shift, the vibration that I want to be in. It wouldn't serve either one of us. We're two opposites now. Does that, I
Yeah.
still love this individual, and I know that if they needed me, I would be there, and if I needed them, they would be there, but
Hmm.
we don't hang out like we used to. But it was so
Yeah.
interesting for my friend to tell me, like, isn't that so sad? And I thought about it. I'm like, no, no, not at
It's
all.
not really.
Not at all for me.
No, yeah, I think it's interesting too. Like, I love that you're bringing up the perspective of your friend, like this outside opinion, because in that moment, like you could have two options. You could be like, yeah, damn, it is sad, and like get really emotional about it, or like think and wonder, like, okay, like, should I be doing something different or worry about, you know what I mean? Like, this is that like thing that you were just talking about too, where you could let outside influences dictate the decision or make you feel a certain way, or like should you be meeting societal expectation, like, oh, this person's in my family unit, like we should be friends, like we should have a relationship, like we had one once before, why don't we have it again? But because you are so secure in yourself and where you're at, and why that your relationship isn't the same, it's not sad, and it's okay that it is what it is at this point.
Well, I think it kind of goes back to the topic of attachments and how
Mhm.
attached you are to it, right? And if we get too attached to anything, whether that be an object,
Mhm.
a person, the way that a relationship is today isn't going to be the way a relationship is 5 years from now. And the
Mhm.
more that you try to hang on to that, that's where that constrictive energy comes in. You constrict your
Yeah.
energy, you stop the flow because you're trying to control and manipulate things to stay the same. And nothing's
Yeah.
meant to stay the same. Nothing.
No. No, and it makes me, this talking about obligation, like I was invited to one of my roommates' weddings. She's getting married in Boston, and honestly, I don't know the last time she's talked to me. Like, I don't know the last time that we've texted. I don't know. Maybe a couple years ago before Draco was born, like once. And then before that, I don't know the last time I've seen her in person. And it doesn't mean that I don't care for her. I do care for her as a person, and I care for the group because, I thought to myself, like, okay, well, maybe I should see the others, or maybe I should do these things and do this. And every time that I tried to book the flight, or I tried to book a hotel, or I tried different options, or it just felt like I was trying, right? Like, I shouldn't have to try, like, to make it work. Like, it should be natural. And, I did feel sad for us, but I think it was just mostly because it was, what was I going to do? Was I going to go and try to keep face with a relationship that really doesn't serve me? Like, there's nothing wrong with these people. Like, they're great people and I wish them well, and I'm glad she's getting married and kumbaya, right? But we don't have a relationship anymore. Like, I love that time and I care for them, but it's been almost or I don't even know. I graduated, like, what? So at 2013, but I graduated in 2016. Yeah, so it's been almost 10 years
Almost
since I
10 years.
graduated college. Yeah, okay. And I know I'm a baby. So I graduated college. I mean, but God, I graduated college 10 years ago, for God's
Yeah.
sakes. Like, it wasn't yesterday. And we haven't had a girls trip, or you know what I mean? Like, I haven't. So, I mean, what am I going to the wedding for? Like, what was I even going to go for, And I didn't go. I didn't do it. And I was like, I'm not going to do it. And one of the girls that I'm closer with, was like, I'm going to go by myself. And she's like, do you want to go with me? And I was like, honestly, no. I would love to go on a trip with you, but I don't feel like I need to go to this wedding. Like, I
Yeah.
just don't, it doesn't matter. I don't care enough. Like, I don't even care to see these people. Like, I can see her. She lives down the road. I don't need to go to Boston to see her. So I
Right.
don't know. So it's back to that, like, is it obligation? Is it duty? What is it to, am I showing face? Am I just trying to keep it the same like it was 10 years ago? Like, it's not. We're not the same people.
Yeah, I think that people do that so often. And what it does is, we get to, when we get to come into human form, it's a gift. It's a beautiful gift because we balance and learn so much when we're humans versus any other energy body that we can experience. Part of it is we get to balance karma, and it has to be balanced at some
Mhm.
point, right? And so when you think about the billions of people in the world, why is it that you're drawn to certain individuals? The reason is you've got karma to balance with them. It is not coincidental. And if you hang on to those relationships, you don't give yourself the chance to go to the next individual or the next individual and
Mhm.
continue the flow, the energy flow of balancing more and more of your karma, right?
Yeah.
If you choose to go and try to keep this 10-year, this group that was college buddies together that doesn't fit anymore, you're blocking the flow of what could happen next.
Oh
What's the
yeah.
next individual for you, right? Like, I mean, I just think about your and my relationship and how it's
Mhm.
progressed.
Yeah.
What are the odds? I mean, what are the odds of all the things happening? Like, it was
Oh no, yeah,
divinity,
for real.
right?
Yeah.
Like, and how I got the job to be your boss. I didn't even know who you were.
No, yeah,
And then,
100%.
yeah, it's so interesting. You were here at the perfect time for that, right? Everything
Yeah.
is happening in divine timing if we're allowing flow. But we do have that energy of that constriction and that attachment to things. And then we stop flow, and it stops flow of everything. You don't just
Yeah.
stop flow of one thing.
No, yeah, I love
It
that.
is true.
It
Yeah.
is, yeah, it's 100%. And like, honestly, like, sorry, folks. I'm trying not to cough. I've made it this far and I
I
haven't.
know.
So,
If you need a drink, you just take a drink.
yeah, now I'm like out. So now it sounds terrible through the mic. It's like, yeah. So anyways, but what I was going to say is I think about, like, did I even actually enjoy that relationship in the time either? Like, truly, I have a friendship and I've been friends with this individual, my best friend, for since we were little girls. And it's very interesting. I think about our relationship and the timeline of our relationship, and we came in and out of each other's lives multiple times. And like, even her grandfather knew my mom, and her aunts went to school with my brothers because they're more in age with each other. Like, it's just this very interesting, divine relationship. And like, she would move away, and then still be friends. She'd come back in the picture, or different little things. Like, we didn't even go to the same high school together. We didn't go to the same college together. I've lived in Wyoming. She's through marriages, babies, things, but it's not always been the best relationship either. And I can say that
Mhm.
honestly. And I think she could too. I really do. Like, there have been times when we probably were not serving each other the best. But what is really beautiful about this relationship is through and through, we've changed together. Like, if one of us has changed or evolved or moved up or moved or whatever it is, like, the relationship's also evolved.
Mhm.
And so, like, it's at this point now where it's so just like, I can tell her how, and I do. I don't hold back anymore, because before it was, if I said what I needed to say, and truly what was my intention at that time, who knows? Maybe I was being an ass. I can't lie, and say I was being beautiful and kind in my delivery. But this person's also had to work on their own emotional being of how they take and receive information too. Like, it's not always hurtful, and they've been working through things, and they've been growing and evolving. And so we're at this point though, and I think about that. I think about this relationship and how it's just continued to grow and change and evolve, and it's spanned over years and decades. And, at the end of the day, I think that we are not friends because we've always been friends. Like, we choose to be friends. Like, we've had to make this choice every so often, time, things change, whatever. But then I think about the relationship with the roommates, for example, and I don't really think any of us were ever really authentically ourselves. And I might have
Yeah.
been authentically myself at that time,
Mhm.
but I don't know if I was accepted. Does that, you know what I mean? So like, when I'm around, like, what am I don't even know, even if in those moments, like, they were cool and they were fun and we did things together, but like, they're not my besties. You know what I mean? And that I'm sure you've had relationships where like they were great and you served, like, they were there and you had this bond that at the time, but like, when you go back and look at it, you're like, did that even, I don't even know if I should have been in that circle with those people anyways. And they're not that they're bad people, but like, it was just like this, was it obligation at the time? I don't know, so anyways, just talking about it made me really think about, like, reflecting upon that, like, was it even a relationship that served me ever,
Yeah, I think that's a good question to ask yourself. I think of one individual who I was friends with 20 plus years.
Mm-hmm.
And her and I, it served me because I was in a space to be served by it. And what I mean by that was, it was a superficial friendship. We never like could get into anything, but I was there. I was there for
Yeah.
it. That's who I was in that moment.
Yeah.
I was that individual. It was comfortable for me. It was
Yeah.
comfortable for her. And she's one who, as I started to really dig into what my energy was and work through my trauma and all the things, she's one that I don't really see anymore. And nothing happened. There was no like, hey, we're not going to hang out. It
Yeah.
just
They just stopped. Yeah.
magically started to do it. But did she serve me in those moments? Yes, because I was serving myself the same way.
Yeah.
Like, that was the energy I was putting out, so that's the energy I was getting back. And that's always the case,
Yeah.
right? Like, I was talking to a client today about some dynamics between two of her family members, and they don't get
Mm-hmm.
along. But what they don't realize is they mirror each other.
Mm-hmm.
They
Yeah.
judge in the other person exactly what they
Oh
do,
yeah.
but they don't see it. And I told her, I said, when somebody annoys me more than anything, I pay
Yeah.
attention. Because why is it? It's something in me I'm seeing in them. That
Oh yeah.
mirror effect is so true, right? And yeah, we laughed about it quite a bit. She's like, oh boy, isn't that the truth? Like,
Oh
they
yeah.
butt heads horribly. So yeah, pay attention to that. When somebody's annoying you, really tune in, because it's showing you something about yourself.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think, of course, that relationship served me for that time period, because that's exactly what I wanted. I wasn't ready
Mm-hmm.
to have a deeper connection because I didn't have a deeper connection with myself. How could I have a
Yeah.
deeper connection with somebody else?
Yeah.
Impossible.
I like that point of view. That's a good way of saying it too. Like, I feel like in that time period with most of those people, it was superficial. I was like out of control. I was I was very reckless with all my energy, like regardless of who it was. I was very destructive towards myself, and I was destructive towards others. And like honestly, if that's who they even remember me as, I wouldn't be my friend either. Like I don't know if I would even invited me. Like maybe that's why we don't have a relationship. And I never hurt them, but like I just wouldn't make attachments at the time. I was it was right after my dad, I mean, literally my dad died that first semester of school,
Mm-hmm.
and I had just met all these people. So hell no, I wasn't making attachments. Oh my God, my number one attachment died. You know, like my whole world was ripped apart. I mean, I was going around saying like tests don't matter, you know, and they're like
No,
studying,
I
and
totally get it.
I'm like, fuck this shit. Like, y'all are so superficial, you know, and I'm like, there's people dying. Yeah, I was, you know what I mean? I was
I
like,
totally do. Yeah.
what the fuck is, you know, like y'all are crying over a bee? You know, I'm just like,
My
oh my
dad's
God,
dead, for
my
God's
dad's
sakes.
dead, you dumbasses. I just did CPR, you know, like, so anyways, I wasn't able to make attachments at that time, and I didn't want to, you know, and then I became destructive towards relationships. Like everything was surface level. All of the people I met, what I did with people who I came in contact with, and honestly, most of the relationships that I had previously, like all the friends that were serving me in that time too, like even if they had been before the dad thing, you know, like because these people came like in the middle of it. Even the before people got was in the wrath of this too, right? Because I could no longer make attachments, and or I couldn't even like this. Everything became surface. I couldn't go under. There was just nah. And I refused, and I wouldn't allow it to be that way. So I would do things that was destructive to those relationships
Yeah.
at the time.
Oh yeah. I think about being reckless with my energy. Yeah. I was the same. Right?
Yeah.
Very reckless. And after my dad committed suicide, I was just talking to one of my friends about this. Like, I was in total victim energy for years,
Hmm.
and it worked. Like,
Yeah.
oh my God, my dad shot himself. You should feel so bad. I would use it as manipulation.
I'm not
I mean, I
laughing.
would. No, it's ridiculous. You can laugh about it because it's true. I would use it as pure manipulation. Like, poor Tressa. My dad
Yeah.
blew his head off. Well, he did. I mean, but the way that I used it,
Yeah.
I mean, was through manipulation. I
Yeah.
used it through victim energy to manipulate people into making me feel something,
Yeah.
right? I mean, you got to have some humor in this, guys. This is like, come on. Frank's just fine. He's living his best life somewhere. Trust me.
He's having a good time. He's
My
good.
he's perfect. He's great.
Yeah.
Don't you worry about Frank. But seriously, think about that is reckless with your energy, right?
Oh
And
yeah, no.
self-destructive. I mean, so self-destructive,
Oh yeah.
and so many people. That's what I'm talking about when I had that conviction to say that. Like, this energy that's collectively shifting will not allow that deflection anymore,
Hmm.
guys. It's not. You're going to see it more and more. So dig in
Yeah.
now. Get yourself prepared now. If you want to stay alive in your body and experience this next, I'm serious. Like,
Yeah, I know, I know.
you know, you will
It's
you will
true.
choose a road. One road could be leaving the body. That's an option for you. And that's fine if that's where you need to go. But if you do plan to want to experience it, you better start doing some serious work on your energy and
Yeah.
looking at yourself, because it won't allow it. It's just not going to be a possibility.
Yeah.
One of the metaphysical teachers I follow, who channels energy called Bashard, he's channeled this energy for over 30 years, talked about by 2027 energy will be so clear that, like, if you are living in a lie, if you're lying, if you have deceit, it will be
Hmm.
seen. So quit it, stop
Yeah.
it, it's coming. Like,
Yeah.
the energies won't have that. You won't have that capability. And you know what's funny is, like, the universe always is preparing us for what's coming, because you think about it, that,
Hmm.
like, there's cameras everywhere, guys. Like, this hasn't been an option really anyway. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
because you never know who's watching you or where or what's happening. So
Oh yeah.
it's kind of like they were showing you, like, be transparent, show up who you want to be in every space, because somebody's going to catch you. I mean, think about the Coldplay deal.
Oh the God. Yeah.
I mean, it's coming,
Yeah.
Like, I'm just saying, like, there is no hiding
No, it's
anymore,
true.
people.
It's
There's no
true.
hiding. So, hey,
No,
get
I love
ready.
it. I'm ready for it. And and I think that like It's so funny because like I truly, truly try to be not, I shouldn't even say try. I am who I need to be in every space and I'm the same. But when I wasn't being authentic towards others or I wasn't being authentic with myself or authentic in those moments or in those relationships, like all of those things came full barrel to the surface. And I'm so grateful for that because, like, I've talked about it before, but like I've manifested freedom. Like, what does freedom mean for me? And like truly living in my authenticity is the purest form of freedom that I've ever felt in my life. And I love it and I'm here for it. Like, and honestly, the people and like I cherish that so much, especially in my marriage and in my partnership. Like, it's full authenticity. Like, this is what it is. It's raw forms of emotion and it's the truth, and we stand in the truth with each other, and that's the commitment we've made. And like that has been such a game changer for me in my life. And like, marriage is just like any other thing, like any other partnership or relationship. Like, as you grow and change and evolve, sometimes it doesn't serve you anymore. And so like
Mm,
I can't hold on to the attachment of what we are today. I have to be prepared for what we'll be tomorrow, right? I can
mhm.
enjoy the moment and live in the moment, but who's to say we're the same relationship 5, 10, 15 years? I don't know what Boomer's doing.
I love it.
But
I see. He's so
like,
cute.
he's like glitching.
Look at Boomer.
I don't know what he's like glitching out in the corner here. But I can live and enjoy in the moment, but we are not the same as we were the day we took our vows, right? And so like
No.
this ever evolving thing, and so like you're right, like you have to stand in your truth and your authenticity. I believe this person and what they're saying, and I agree with it 100%. Like, it's you, there's no hiding anymore. Like, this is who you are, and the deflection stops. And the more that people I'm around or the conversations I hear, I can feel it in my body how uncomfortable their deflection makes me. Like, because it's not, I
Hmm.
don't align with it. I just don't talk like that either. I don't relate like that. I'm not a part of that anymore. And so just hearing it, I can feel like the shift that's happening there too, even
Yeah.
with my personal space.
Yeah. I get that. Well, what a great conversation. I think we're coming
Yeah,
up on
this was
our
great.
time. So, and I
Yeah.
think Boomer like closes us out.
Yeah, I don't know. He was glitching. He's like, I'm just going to pop my face in the bottom corner.
He's so cute. All
Yeah,
right. Well, until next time, keep your vibrations high.
and stay sassy.